Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to User One Productions. My name is David, and in today's quick Unity tutorial, we're going to be looking at a lighter system where you can light candles and anything else that you might want to put on fire. As always, my friends, if you found this video interesting or helpful in any sort of way, remember to drop me a like, subscribe if you're new, and click that notification bell so you don't miss another upload by me. Also, every asset I create, models, sound effects, scripts, is all linked on a Google Drive in the description for a free download. Without further ado, let me show you the finished product and then we can go into the tutorial. So here we are inside of our Unity tutorial series that we've been slowly developing. If you notice, I have placed this little candle on the ground and it says light candle with E. And if I go ahead and press E, it doesn't do anything. What I've gone ahead and done is in our inventory system, I have added this lighter right here, okay? So let's walk up to it now and press E. You'll notice nothing happens still. What we need to do is we need to turn the lighter on, and then walk over to it, and now the candle can be lit and there's a little light, so if you're in a dark corridor, it can help light it up. Another cool thing about the lighter, you could turn it off, on, similar to how the flashlight works. Let's go over how I actually accomplished this. From the description down below, you can actually download this little candle. It is unwrapped, so you can actually put some textures on here if you so choose to. So inside of our candlestick, I have this thing called flames, which if we go ahead and look at it, that is right here. That is what's going to appear when we light the candle. Let's go over how I went about creating this. If you have been following the series, the very first tutorial, we downloaded the standard assets from the asset store. We went over how versatile it actually is, and we're going to be using it through the series. So inside the standard assets, inside of particle system and prefabs, there is one prefab called Fire Complex, okay? If we actually scroll into it, open it up, and check out everything inside, this is what it looks like. Now, by actually tweaking a lot of these settings and deleting the stuff you won't need, you can get your flame to look similar to how I have right here. From the Fire Complex, all I've kept was flames and fire. Right over here, you can actually see all the settings I've changed inside. I'll just scroll down so you can kind of see. Here's the emission tab, color over lifetime, size over lifetime, and then I didn't touch the texture or the renderer. But these are the settings I have for the flame. Same thing with the fire. I have changed a couple things in here if you just want to pause and check it out so you guys can get the same exact settings. Here's the emission tab. Here's the shape tab. And then everything else I have not changed. Once you actually get the flame going, we want to add a little point light to it. So all I've done is got a point light and I've scaled it accordingly. And I have the range to 15, intensity to 1.25, and then I made this orangish type color. Another thing that I did inside Point Light was I added a component of a halo, and that's this little circle you see right here. It's just going to give a little more effect to the actual flame itself and make it look like it's actually flaming. You could change the size. A lot of people like to use this for fog or like bright lights in a city. As you can see, it can get pretty big. And I'm going to keep that to 0.08 because that's just what I have felt is a good size for this candle. Now, if I actually deactivate directional light, which is the main light source in our scene, if I deactivate that, so with that deactivated, we can actually go into the character. Inside of our inventory, I added that lighter you saw, which is right here. It's a very simple model. It is also unwrapped, so if you wanted to add textures or anything like that to it, you can. And then all I've done was taken the flames from that candle we just created and just shrunk it down to fit inside the lighter hole. Now, with that light deactivated, let's go into the game and see what's actually going on. So obviously we have our flashlight, but maybe you don't have a flashlight in your game and you'd rather have a lighter. Again, it has the little light attached to it, so the light will follow you around and it'll light corridors, hallways, anything like that. Let's walk over to the candle and light it one more time. Walk away, and you can see it gives off a little bit of light depending how much intensity and range you gave to it. I'm going to now put that directional light back on just for testing reasons. And let's take a look at the lighter object we have. I have two new scripts in here, one for lighter and one for sway. Let me actually show you what this sway does, okay? So if I deactivate it, and I go into the game, and I look around, it kind of just stays in one spot, and it looks really static, almost like a 2D image. But if we exit the game, put sway back on and play, it'll give it a little bit of momentum, so that way it gives it a little more life. For testing reasons, I'm going to put this number up and actually show you. Like, you can achieve these type of effects, so that way you can lighten up the objects on your screen instead of it looking plain and just like it's copy and pasted right there in that one spot. Let me keep those values I had. My values are 0.08 for amount, max amount is 0.75, and smooth amount is 6. You can also add these to the guns, which I've gone ahead and did. So that way they can kind of sway a little bit, and they have a little more characteristic to them. Let's check out that sway script real quick. It's super simple. At the top we have those 3 values I was just talking about, and then we have a private vector 3, which is its initial position. In the start function, we want to initialize that starting location so that way it remembers where it is. And then pretty much the update is just saying if we use mouse X or mouse Y, which is already mapped to Unity, that is our up and down, left and right functions. It gives it a little bit of movement using mathf.clamp. And then we say its final position is going to be the initial position right here. Very simple. And when I go ahead and create the gun script, I'm going to be actually copying and pasting this whole thing into it, so that way you don't have 2 separate scripts for a gun and sway, it'll be all in one. The next script I'm going to be looking at is the actual lighter script itself. This is the script that turns it on and off. So we have 2 public game objects, one for the lighter and one for the flames. We have an audio source for the sound effect it makes when we turn it on. And then we have a bool that states if it's on. Our start function, we are going to turn is on to false and flames set active false. Now, if in your game you wanted the layer to start on, you would turn these both to true. Okay, and then we have this quick little void update right here. This first if statement is saying if we press down fire 1, so before I go ahead, you don't have to remap these inside the preferences. Fire 1 and fire 2 come with Unity. Fire 1 being your left mouse click, fire 2 being the right mouse click. Okay, back to this if statement. If we left click and the lighter is active in our hierarchy, meaning it's in our hand, we can see it, the flames become true, it plays the lighter sound effect, and then is true bool is turned to true. And then right here, else if we press down on the left key and it's on, it just returns. It won't do anything. The reason we put this else if return in here is so when the lighter's on and we're left clicking, it doesn't keep playing the sound effect and turning itself back on a million times. Super easy stuff. And then we have this next if statement that says if we press down the right button on our mouse and the lighter is active in our hierarchy and it is on, the flames become false, and then is on becomes false. Just a very simple way to turn it on and off. And that's about it for the actual lighter itself. Now we can actually look at the candlestick. Let's open up that script real quick. This one's a little bit bigger than the other one. At the top here, we have 3 game objects, which is lighter object, flame, and light text. We have 2 bools, which state if they're unlit and if we're in reach. If you guys have not learned about the in reach game object yet, our tutorial on how to open doors actually helps us set it up, and I go in depth about that object. So if you're wondering what the in reach tool is, we have this little cube in front of our character, and it's pretty much how far we can reach out to collect or interact with an object. So if you have not already watched that tutorial on how to open a door, I highly advise it because we are going to be continuously using this in reach tool. Moving on, we next have a void start. We want unlit to true, flame.setActive false, and then we have a light text set to false, okay? We're going to be setting all these up in just a second after I go over this script. That way you can understand what each object is. Next we have this onTrigger enter, and all it's saying is if our reach tool touches the candle object and it is also unlit, in reach becomes true and the light text becomes active, and that'll say light candle with the button E. On the flip side, void onTrigger exit is the complete opposite, so it'll disappear the text and in reach becomes false. Next we have this super simple little void update right here. In this if function right here, it states if the lighter object is active in the hierarchy, we are in reach, the candle is unlit, and we press down interact, the flames become true, the text becomes false, and unlit also becomes false. Now, if you do not already have interact set up in Unity, what you do is you go into the editor, in edit, project settings, input manager, and you can change this size to any number you want. You want to find one that's not in use, rename it interact just like it is spelled and capitalized inside the code, and then just say what positive button it is, which mine is E. So now that we have all the game objects in place and we have gone over the scripts, let's set it up. So let's go into our inventory inside the character. We're going to click the lighter. We're going to make sure sway is in there and lighter. At the top here, lighter just references the whole object, which is going to be the entire lighter right there. The flames is obviously the flames, and then lighter sound is going to be this sound effect right here that I created, if I can play it for you. Super easy. And how I go on about doing that, inside of our character we have an empty game object called sounds, and I've been just copy and pasting them inside here. So I would say take flashlight on, duplicate it, rename it to lighter sound, and then just put lighter sound into this audio clip over here. Then just map it up inside the lighter object itself right there, and then the lighter is set to go. Inside Candlestick we have light candles. For a lighter object, I have set it to the flames of the lighter. Now the reason I have done that is because I want the lighter to be on in order to light the candles. Say I just put the actual lighter object in there. Let's see what happens. I can light the candle and it does not need to be on. That is why I have it referenced to the flames of the lighter object. Next we have flame, which is going to be the candlestick flames that we turn on. And then the light text, all I've gone ahead and done, we have another empty game object inside of our player controller called HUD. And inside texts, I duplicated this one here of open door text, which is right down here inside light candle. And all it is two text objects. The first one being light candle, and then the second one just being the button that we have to press. And it looks like that afterwards. We can turn that off, and now that we have everything set up, we can light as many candles as needed. What I'll do is I'm going to make a little line of candles just like this. And then I'm going to turn off directional lighting, and then I'm going to play the game. Now, if you just saw, these candles are on, and also the lighter is on with the flame. But once we press play, it all turns off because we have these start functions here that turn the flames to false. Now if we press play, press 5, that is my button for the lighter itself. We could turn it on, light this candle. Let's walk over to this one without the lighter on, and it won't do anything. Let's turn it back on, and there we go. We can light as many candles as we want, and it's a pretty good little source of light. Now you might notice that if you have too many lights in your scene, the light object is not working. So let's watch this one right here, okay? If I turn this lighter back on, this light turns off. Let's go over how to fix this really quick. All we're gonna do is go Edit, Project Settings, Quality. Now, if we see pixel light count, it'll probably automatically default to 4. I'm just gonna change this number to 50. That way we can have 50 lights on the screen at once. Now we can exit that, play the game again, pull out the lighter, light all these candles, and as you can see, we have all the light sources that we need. Perfect. That's about it for this tutorial, you guys. I really hope you have enjoyed it. This is a pretty cool little system, so if you're in like a cave or something like that, and there's torches hanging on the wall, you can light them, and it gives you a little bit of hope that you can survive. As always, my friends, every script, every model is linked in the description down below. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell, and if you guys are interested, we have a Discord server that I always post updates in that is also linked in the description down below. Until the next video, you guys, this is User1 Productions signing off for now. Peace.